All right, next we have Dawn with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So go ahead.
Awesome. There we go. Okay, well, I mean, first of all, before I even get started, I want to say that we have so many resources that it can be a little overwhelming. And if to make it easy, we want to become a partner with all of the cancer centers so that we are kind of like your right hand. And we have a referral form, and I'm going to share that with you in just a minute here. But as the referral form gets there, we will actually reach out with master's level nurses and social workers to have that initial conversation. Let me just, we created a little video to give you an idea. And I don't know if I said share sound. Put your hand up if you can't hear the sound on this star. Can you hear sound?
No.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Let's do that again then. Sorry about that. I knew just as I did it, I knew I was not gonna. All right, let's do this again. There we go. All right, so let's start this again.
Patients a strong network of support.
There we go.
As a healthcare provider, you know the importance of giving cancer patients a strong network of support. We are here to help. When you use our online or paper referral form to refer a blood cancer patient to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we become a part of your patient support system. And here is what will happen next. One of our highly trained oncology social workers, nurses, or health educators will call your patient and provide compassionate and personalized support through our Information Resource Center. They will speak in depth with your patient or their caregiver to build an understanding of their needs and how we can best help them, whether it's through financial, emotional, or educational resources. Our information specialists become a part of your patient's support network. We'll offer your patient the opportunity to be introduced to someone who has gone through a similar experience and learned how to manage the same disease they're trying to cope with each day. Through our Patty Robinson Kaufman First Connection program, patients and caregivers can be matched with a trained volunteer who can provide peer-to-peer support. Our volunteer survivors and caregivers will become a part of your patient's support network. If needed, we'll connect your patient to our personalized clinical trial matching service. The caring nurses at our Clinical Trial Support Center will join your patient support network. A few weeks after your referral, one of our trained local volunteers will call your patient to check in on them. Connect with them and provide information about local support groups, educational programs, and resources, expanding their support network even further to include our local staff, volunteers, and survivors. Patients who are referred to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society often utilize more than one of our many services, and they continue to utilize our programs for years to come. When you refer your patient, you're not only giving them access to a resource, you're giving them an entire network. To give your patients and their families the personalized care that LLS has to offer, please utilize our online referral form at lls.org or call 1-800-955-4572 to request paper copies. We look forward to supporting your patients and their families.
That video was created by one of our volunteers. I think it was a student volunteer, and so it was like one of her projects. So excited about that. But just for those who don't know anything about the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, we have 3 pillars to our name. We're funding research because we want to cure cancer. We've actually donated over 1.6 billion in research funding since our inception, and we drive advocacy too, because it doesn't do us any good to create a treatment that no one can afford or cannot access. And my arm, which is the support arm, helps patients and their families while they're undergoing treatment. 7, for those of you who have been around for a while in the oncology field, goodness gracious, 7 years ago, a good year would be 4 new treatments. Now, I mean, it's just going gangbusters. We're starting to really see the effects of all those donations. Just from 2017 to 2022, there were over 100 new FDA-approved treatments, and we advanced over 75% of those. So we're really excited about where we are, where we're going. We really think we are going to see some cures. I love saying that word, at some point in our lifetime. So we're really excited about that. That patient referral form that I've been talking about and was in that video, this is what it looks like in paper form. It also, we have it online as a, so if you want to fill it out online, you can do that. We're not trying to, the ladies that have those conversations in our information resource center, they do get the patients get a phone call within 24 to 48 hours after getting those referrals. We're not trying to replace anyone at your cancer center, but we recognize that you guys don't have 30 minutes to an hour to sit and talk about nothing but LLS. I'd love that, but we know that that's not going to happen. So use us as our right hand, and we make sure that the ladies that are having those conversations are well qualified. They're all master's level oncology, social workers, nurses, and health educators that can have those conversations with patients. And they're also the ones that answer our 800 number, which is not a customer service line. It's actually, they're there to answer any kind of crazy question that can come up. If someone calls our 800 number who's a caregiver, we have this beautiful workbook that comes with the bag and the journal and the pen and the pill box. I love this. What a great support system for them. And it has everything from what kind of questions to ask the doctor, how to stay organized, how to, how do I create a bill? How do I know how to take care of the bills now? Because we all know that sometimes it's someone who's never even done a budget before who suddenly finds themselves in the situation of paying all the bills. So how to manage stress. There's all kinds of great stuff in there for them. Our information resource center is also the gateway to the clinical trial support center. And we recognize that some cancer centers have their own clinical trial support center, but ours is focused just on blood cancers. So they really, truly are experts on those clinical trials, not just running a report. And then if someone is ever interested in actually applying for it, this team will actually help them to apply and help them to overcome obstacles. We get doctors and nurses that request the reports through us and then sit with their patients to discuss. So we can be used as a resource on the backside or on the front side. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about financial assistance, and we have a ton of different silos. Our copay assistance is probably the biggest. That one is anywhere from $5,000 up to $13,000, depending on diagnosis. And people can reapply every single year for this. And that's something that we want you guys to know. It's not just a one-time thing. Blood cancer patients and blood cancers in general tend to be lifelong. So we want to make sure that they know we're here for them every year, not just today. We have travel assistance that they can apply for every 6 months, and they don't have to go far. When we say travel, it can just be gas in the car to go back and forth to their appointments. They don't need to be flying out here or going someplace far for this. Patient aid is the kind of like an introduction to LLS. That is the one that everyone can get regardless of their financial situation, and is like an introduction to LLS. It's just $100. Even undocumenteds can get patient aid, by the way. I'm keeping it real short on each of these, but I can give more information for you guys if you want more. There's also a CAR-T travel, and this one is for the upfront stuff. Hey, I don't even know if I want it. I don't even know if I qualify for CAR-T, but I want to go find out, and I don't have the funds to travel back and forth for the physical, for all the consults, all those things. And so that's what this is for. urgent need is the only one that has to be applied by the cancer center. Someone at the cancer center has to do this one. So I want to keep you guys to keep that kind of in the front of your mind. And it can be used for anything. And when it says urgent need, you guys are the ones that kind of decide that. Generally, it's used for things like rent and mortgage and utilities, groceries. But when you hear things like, oh my goodness, now I'm having to do 2, households to make this work. I'm going to have to travel a bunch. Oh, I'm not sure how I'm going to pay this month's phone bill. Any of those are fine for this. And then finally, the LLS scholarship is brand new. That's $7,500, and that can be applied for multiple years as well. We gave out over 100 scholarships last year and this year. So we're super excited about that. We are the leading provider of education materials for blood cancers, for all blood cancers, regardless of what they are. And we also want to make sure, but it can get overwhelming, right? Because you don't know, if you don't know what we have, how do you know what to order? So hopefully you can get with me and we can decide what would be best for your cancer center. There are things you can download. There are blogs now that you can watch, listen, read. We also have podcasts that you can listen to. We want to hit every kind of learning style. We also do education programs, both in person and virtually, so that someone can download them and watch them right there on our website. And we also have a podcast series for professionals now. So it's more detailed, so you can learn more about each of the different blood cancers out there. And there's also free continuing education on our website as well. I love the Health Manager app. It's got all kinds of great resources inside it that you can download. My favorite is the side effects tracker, because the patient can keep track of their side effects however often, daily, and then actually email the report to their doctor or nurse periodically. So that's amazing. We all know the pitfalls when they come into the doctor's office and they say, oh, how are you feeling? And they just say, fine. We're trying to avoid that. So we also have a bunch of support systems in place. One is our online chats that happen at least once a week for a couple hours, where everyone can get in a chat room and chat with other patients across the United States. These are some of them that are available. We also have our Patty Robinson Kaufman First Connection program. That one's a mouthful, but it's basically a peer-to-peer support program where patients can talk to another patient who's a volunteer who has been there, done that. And the things that sometimes it has nothing to do with the treatment. Sometimes it's, hey, I'm a single mom with 3 kids and I'm about to have a stem cell transplant. How am I going to manage this? Or I'm a marathon runner and am I ever going to be able to do this again? So great support system. We also have our own social media platform called LLS Community, with different chat rooms that are also monitored by those same master's level nurses and social workers for accuracy. So you don't have crazy things being said like, I don't know, ginseng cured my cancer. I love that one. And then we also have several dietitians now on staff, and we do free nutrition consultations. It's done over the phone and followed up by email, and it can be for any cancer diagnosis, not just blood cancer. So we're excited about that as well. Here's the referral form again. Just wanted to share that with you. There's an online referral form, and then there's also paper. So if you let me know which is best for you, I can share the link, and I can also send you some pads if that works best for you as well. What kinds of questions do you guys have for me?
It can be a self-referral, right?
Yes, it can. But I caution healthcare providers on handing out a flyer and say, give them a call or go fill this out and fax it over. It's not going to happen. You're giving them a task and they're already overwhelmed as it is. We should be taking that extra step and saying, hey, you've been diagnosed with a blood cancer. The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society has a ton of resources. Can I have someone reach out to you? That's all that has to be said. And then that's your HIPAA disclaimer, and you can fill out the referral form yourself and send it on over to us. And then we'll reach out to them. We know that when you hand a brochure to a patient, it's months. It's months before they call because they're just overwhelmed. But if you fill out the referral for them, then we give them a call and we answer questions and it just, they're just more relieved. We're trying to avoid that whole, hey, I wish I had known about you guys sooner.
And are you in Wyoming or are you national? This is national.
Well, the programs are all national, but I handle the mountain region. So I handle Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah.
Great. Thank you.
And after that initial conversation by that nurse or social worker, a local volunteer reaches out a few weeks later just to follow up and make sure, because again, we want to build relationships and we want to make sure that they, maybe they weren't ready to hear everything. We've got a lot of, I didn't go over everything and I tried to talk fast. So, oh, and April is now April's on here. She can kind of virtually wave. April has agreed to be our support. There she is. Hey, she's amazing. And she's agreed to be the support group. We've started a blood cancer support group virtually here in Wyoming. And she's facilitating it for us. So.
Thank you. Any other questions for Dawn?